Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Ahmed Furkan and welcome to another video of Crypto Life Investments. Today we are going to cover the basics of supply and demand, how we can use this phenomena to our benefit, and how we can increase the winning ratio of our trades. So let's get to it. So what is supply and demand zones? These zones are the areas where the institutions, bank, hedge funds, etc. they place their orders. Those zones are their favorite zones. All right. So as they have huge liquidity, so they always are left with some unfilled orders. All right. So what we do is we track those areas known as demand and supply zones, where the price quickly moves away from that zone. All right, and later on touches that zone and quickly it takes off. So the whole point of this phenomena is to find those key areas where the smart money is coming in or going out. All right, so this is all about equation. All right, the supply, whenever the supply is equal to demand, all right, the supply and demand are equilibrium, we see the congestion phase. The price keeps on moving sideways because for all of the supply there is an equal demand there. All right, take it literally and take it, for example, let's take like PS4, and they're producing like 100 units, and for the 100 units there are equal number of willing buyers. So the PS4, the Sony is producing PS4 like 100 units and they all are selling out, so the price will be in equilibrium. So if there are lesser number of willing buyers, all right, and let's suppose there are 100 units and there are just 10 buyers, so the supply is more, and the more likely the prices will go down. They'll have to reduce the prices. All right, and if the demand is more, for example, there are like 100 units and there are like 500 willing buyers, so obviously the price will hike. And this is a very literal definition of this supply and demand in order to understand this phenomenon, right? So over here, whenever the demand exceeds and overpowers supply, the price quickly moves away from that level. This is the demand zone, right? And same for the supply. Whenever the supply overpowers demand, the prices go down, right? So this is the demand zone. All right, if you see over here, there is a disagreement between supply and demand overpowered the supply over here, and prices moved away from this demand zone. But later on, they tagged this zone and quickly moved away after that. So what actually happened here, that there was some bank or institution who placed some big orders here. Some of them got filled and price quickly moved away from that. Later on, the price touches again and some of their orders again got filled. So each time this demand zone is tagged, their unfilled orders keep on getting filled. All right, so each time the test of this demand zone reduces the capacity of that demand zone. All right, same for the supply zone. All right, this is a supply zone. Exactly over here, there was an imbalance. The supply uh, exceeded the demand and prices quickly moved away from that level. They tagged it again and started dumping afterwards. So there was, again, it was a test of the supply level again the prices moved back, and this was a third test and prices were able to pierce through completely to this level. So what does it mean? That most of their orders are more likely get filled now. The unfilled orders here are more likely filled up over here. So again, there are very lesser chances, very thin chances that the price will be rejected from here at this supply level. So each time the price tags this zone, these levels get weaker. All right. So there's a huge difference between support and demand, all right, and resistance and supply. These are not same. They may look alike, but there is a huge difference. The stronger support is a weaker demand, because if the support is stronger support means that price bounces off from that from a certain level again and again. That is equal to a strong support, but that is a very weaker area of demand, and vice versa. I will show you practically uh, later on in this video how to increase the winning probability. I mean, the how to find the trading setups which are less likely to fail and have almost 80 to 90% even more probability of winning, and how to describe that which demand and supply levels are to be taken or not, what are the factors to look for determining the proper and ideal supply and demand zones. Fresh zones, for example, the supply and demand zone, they should be fresh. They shouldn't be tested previously. Okay, they shouldn't be tested before, because I've told you earlier that more times they are tested, they get weaker. All right, I will explain it in live charts later on at the end of this video. All right, how did the price leave the zone? Okay, did it leave left the zone in a strong fashion? For example, like this, in a strong fashion, or this is another supply level. Okay, this is a supply level, and prices, look at the prices, they moved away from this zone in a very strong fashion. All right, but over here this is also a supply level, but not a very good one, because of a lot of factors which I will discuss later on. But look at the price movement. It was just a little candle and consolidation, then again another candle, red candle. So the prices should move away from supply and demand zone in a very strong fashion. Okay, like this, a strong move away from the demand zone. All right, it's still not an ideal. I will tell you later on. Like this, a very strong move away from the demand zone, and it will test it over here, and look at the move up. So after that, the supply became overpowered the demand, and they went down. Most probably this level has been tested before, maybe a few times. That's why it wasn't able to pull back the prices all the way up. Right? How much time did the price spend at the zone? So for example, did it spend a lesser time? For example, this supply level, prices spend a very large amount of time over here, so it isn't that much of an ideal supply zone. Okay, this one is also supply zone, but it wasn't that much ideal because prices hover around this area for a very large time, or a very long time. All right, so this isn't a very good supply level. At retest, how far it travel? For example, if you see over here, after this supply zone, the prices travel a lot of distance downwards, right? All the way from here to here. After this was the first retest, the another retest. So the more distance the prices travel, all right, the more legitimate the zone is. Okay, we can book more profits from that demand or supply zone if the prices retest after covering a good amount of distance. Okay. So let's go back to the chart and we will revise all of these points, and I will select a demand zone on the basis of all these. Sorry. So here is a live chart of EURAUD. This is a 30-minute candle. You can apply supply and demand at practically at each and every time frame, whether 1 minute. I have done live trading using supply and demand. You can see my other video on this channel, which is titled as live trading on demo account and live trading on real account. So you can get a pretty good clear picture after watching that. So what we do is we see the current price, all right, and if we're looking for demand zones, what we should do is we should look left and below, all right, left and below the current price. So this is the current price, and we are looking, I will mark it with a blue line, and we will look for the areas to the left and below, and we will look for the zones which can pull up this price, the demand zone which can reverse this price, all right, some strong areas of demand, and it's at its lowest point. I mean, it's monthly low, I think. So we'll keep on looking backwards to find the fresh demand zone following the 4 set of rules which I just described before. All right, the internet is slow. So this is the blue line is the current price. We will look the areas below the strong demand zones, the fresh ones. All right, so I have already marked those fresh demand zones to save the time. So if you see over here, this is also an area of demand, right? This one. Look at the prices moved away from this, but it isn't fresh because it has been tested over here. All right, it has been tested over here, and I will show you that it has been tested for like 3 to 4 times. So this isn't a fresh area of demand. Also, we're here at this this is also an area of demand, but the price it didn't move in a very strong fashion from here. So ignoring this is also an area of demand, but you can see that the prices stayed in this zone for like quite a while. So this isn't an ideal area of demand. Now if you look at this area, it's been a while that it may have been tested before, like quite a while ago, but it hasn't been tested for quite a while now. Look at that, how prices moved away from this area in a very strong fashion, and they moved from this to quite a distance above it. All right, after this demand zone there is another, this one. So most likely the prices of EURAUD, they are going to reverse from this area, and we will see 1.133 and 1.13435, I mean around this zone. Okay, the prices now check out, this is the fresh demand zone, number one. Number second is that prices stays for a very short period of time over here in this zone. Okay, and number third, the prices moved away from this zone in a very strong fashion. They traveled a pretty good amount of distance away from this zone. All right, so that's why this zone is quite interesting, and most likely the prices will reverse from this. So it's quite below, all right, it's quite below the current price, but it doesn't matter. We can find these zone in practically in every time frame, all right, in every time frame, whether 1 minute, 5 minute, in every time frame. Same goes for the supply zone, but for supply zones what we do is look at the current price, start from the current price, we look left and see the areas above it. All right, so above it, this is a supply zone. Okay, this is a supply zone. Should mark it. This one, it has been tested once. All right, but it didn't travel that much of a distance before or after retesting there, but it's just a wick. So the prices can take a dump if it reaches there, but most likely it's going downward. Also, the prices stayed in this area for quite a longer time. All right, so this isn't probably the ideal supply zone. So you can do exactly like that, which I did for like demand zone. You keep on looking, mark this area and draw the lines over here. And keep on looking towards the left side and see that whether this is a fresh supply zone or not, and does it follows all the 4 rules which I've described before. All right, let me tell you another tip. Whenever you see the wicks like that and a strong upward movement from that, always check the area towards the left of it. There must be a very strong demand zone. So if you see over here, this is a very good demand zone. All right, this one. So this was the test of this demand zone. Also, this demand zone was a test of this demand zone over here. All right. So the more times it got tested, it got weaker. This one. All right. More time it got tested. This one has also been tested for quite a while. If we look back, we will see that it has been tested again and again. All right. And this is a test of just a previous demand zone. So let me show you quickly that it has been tested like 3 to 4 times again over here. All right, at this wick, and it wasn't able to hold and reverse the prices from this zone because it got weaker at every test. All right. Now most of the people who are not familiar with this supply and demand concept, all right, to show them that how this actually works practically, let me show you some signals which I gave out yesterday. All right, and we booked around 200 pips just in one day. Okay, let me show you some signals. So this is my premium service, and I gave out signal for EURAUD. The price didn't enter into my zone, so I was targeting this area. All right, the prices they didn't enter over here at this zone, EURAUD. So that's why we didn't enter in it. Signals were given out at 11:07 p.m. We are at Pakistan Standard Time. We are 5 hours ahead of this UTC time. All right, so I will tell you that the signals were given like 5 to 6 hours before the move even happened, based on supply and demand. I gave a signal on pound USD, short-term trend short. If price reaches 1.30, 1.304, and this was the short entry. This was supply zone above this supply zone. So let me show you the chart. I marked the time at which I gave out the signal with this blue area. This was the signal at this time. At this time, around 5:30 UTC time, that short if the pound reaches 1.30 to 1.304 area. All right, and it was based on this supply level. It has been touched just once, just a wick, I think, and this was a pretty good supply level, because look at this. This is the drop, base, drop. So these supply levels are pretty legitimate. I will tell you in the next video about this drop, base, drop, rally, base, rally, and all those all that kind of stuff for demand and supply zones. So the signal was given at this time, exactly at this green candle, and it reached over here after like 6 to 7 hours, and we booked around 70 pips from this, and trade was closed over here at this area. All right, because it was a minor demand zone, so some of it was closed here and a little over here. Again, USD yen. All right, let me show you short at 112.50, 112.60, and this was a short zone. This was supply level above this one. So this is USD yen. Signal was given when the price was over here. All right, at this green candle, at this red candle, at this time. All right, and this was based on this supply level. Look at this, how good this supply level is. The prices, they moved quickly away from this zone, stayed a very little time in this zone, in this vicinity. Look at this cluster. All right, and it was just tested by scratch. Signal was given at this time. All right, these are the prices over here, 112.739 and 112.73. Just touched the zone and quickly moved away from that afterwards. So the trades were closed over here at this zone. I've also opened it currently around 40. This is just 0.1 lot size. This is a demo account. I'm just checking this XNS broker. So these are around, I think, let me show you the number of pips. This is my entry. All right, and total pips are around 58. Currently I am at around, I think, 45 pips profit. All right, so I'm still running this trade, but I have told my members to close it because we entered into this demand zone. And look at that, the prices jumped quickly away from this, because this demand zone, not an ideal one, but also there was this demand zone, but this was a test of this demand zone. All right, so it wasn't fresh. It's comparatively better than this demand zone. All right, I will tell you later on in the videos. Practically, I will show you how to select the perfect supply and demand zones. All right, so these signals were based on supply and demand zone. Do check the time. This was euro and Australian dollar, and it was a extremely perfect trade. Signal was given when the price was here. All right, at this red candle here, and it reached the buy zone around 5 to 7 hours later. 7 hours later. All right, now this demand zone was based on this demand level over here. Look at that, how beautiful this level is. Prices moved away from this in a very strong fashion. They stayed in this area for a very little while. They moved from this area to quite a very good amount of distance. All right, it was perfect demand zone. It was almost fresh. It was fresh. So that's why I was very sure that prices are gonna turn back. So around 70 pips, I think they were booked from this euro dollar. So signal was given at this when around this candles, and price entered into the zone 5 to 7 hours later, and it's still going above. And most probably, look at that, it always takes a step back whenever it enters into any supply zone. All right, so the most probably it's gonna turn back from here at this supply level, or it can go towards this supply level, and obviously it will get rejected a couple of times whenever it will enter these supply levels. Now it depends whether this supply level is fresh or not, but I have closed this trade because for me just 70 to 100 pips are just enough for this. So let me show you how much profit we booked. So over here, all trades are closed within a day. Total pips booked 157. Later on, USD and EURAUD also hit targets and 200 pips. Overall, this month we booked around 470 pips. So most probably it's gonna fall towards another demand level. So a time will tell only. But the point was to tell you guys that how beautiful this supply and demand is. If we train our eyes to see the exact supply and demand zones, then we can practically increase the our winning ratio to 90%. All right, check out. I mean, within a day you book like 170, 200, 200 plus pips. One pip is nearly equal to I think around $1 for 0.1 lot size. All right, so uh, that's perfect. I mean, you can even trade it on 1 minute time frames on IQ options. So that's it for today. See you in the next video. So take care, everyone. See you in my next video.